happened at around 3 this morning in the Bernal Heights neighborhood at Portland Avenue. It is not clear at this point how long these repairs are going to take. And both sides of the VTA strike heading to court today. The transit agency wants a judge to end the walkout. They claim workers broke a no-strike clause. The union says that clause is no longer in play since the contract expired. That strike is stretching into its third week. I'm Ann Makovic with the Minute.
You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
Calling 911 in San Jose will soon cost a few $100s for residents, or at least their insurance companies.
We're a major medical provider in the city, and we really have to start acting like it.
We are diving into the city's plan to charge first responder fees and why fire department leaders say it's long overdue. Plus, local veterans concerned with layoffs at the VA, why one says the cuts could impact not only himself, but also his doctor.
They listen, they understand common experiences that me and other veterans have.
And how a new burger joint in Oakland is celebrating Bay Area hip-hop culture. Thanks for joining us today. Things are cooling down after that brief heat wave, and now the rain is about to return. Let's get over to meteorologist Jessica Birch.
It was a hot day for many of us throughout the Bay Area yesterday. Today, the clouds are rolling in, a cold front's approaching, and our temperatures are dropping significantly because of that. Daytime highs today are going to be topping off in the 60s, widespread throughout the Bay, with 50s near Vallejo and 70s all the way off in areas like Livermore, Fremont, and stretched down into the Santa Clara Valley. Yesterday, we actually broke records in San Jose for being so warm. Close to the 90s yesterday. Today, we're all the way down into the 60s, so about a 20-degree jump throughout most of the Bay Area. That mixed with clouds, mixed with showers and gustier winds. That's what this cold front is doing for all of us throughout the Bay today. We're seeing light showers flashing throughout the coastline this morning. It'll push throughout some of the peninsula, but by the time it makes its way to the East Bay, it starts to dissipate. That'll change into the evening hours tonight, though. We'll see more substantial rain up into the North Bay around 7 o'clock, continuing to watch more showers sweeping from offshore into the overnight hours tonight. So from now until around at least 7 o'clock tonight, we're seeing about 1/100 of an inch of rain, but we'll continue to add to those rainfall totals as we head into the rest of this week and into this weekend's forecast, too. We'll catch a little bit of a break as we head into Saturday when it comes to our rain chances, but for the most part, we're seeing on and off showers widespread throughout the Bay as we head into this weekend and early next week. So here's what Sunday's going to do for us. Sunday's going to be that next splash of showers with daytime highs still sitting in the low 60s. By next week, we cool down even more into the upper 50s along the Bay just to Tuesday's forecast. And as we make our way over into our inland spots, it's looking very similar too. Low 60s by tomorrow compared to the upper 60s we have today in our inland spots. We'll continue to hold on tight to that chilly, cool, and wet forecast right around the corner as we head into Sunday and Monday. Back to you.
School leaders in Santa Rosa have approved a program to bring police officers back to campus. Under this 3-year pilot program, officers are going to be stationed at each of the city's 5 high schools. Last night's 4-2 vote in favor of the plan comes after a string of violent incidents at several high schools. Just last month, police say a 15-year-old student stabbed a classmate at Elsie Allen High. And in other separate incidents, students were found with guns and knives. We spoke with Jeremy De La Torre, a school board trustee and parent, and he told us he believes bringing back school resource officers from the Santa Rosa Police Department is a critical step to addressing campus safety concerns.
We've had a few instances where students have used a knife on another student while on school grounds, and that's just a very traumatic situation to have for any of our students.
Not everybody backs the plan, though. Opponents say there is a lack of trust right now between certain community members and law enforcement. Angel Ortega from Santa Rosa tells us he and others are trying to advocate for more intervention staff and outreach specialists instead of police officers.
They're on the front lines every day. They know these students better than everyone else, and they know the challenges they're facing.
In terms of paying for the program, the district and city agreed to discuss sharing the costs. The program is expected to cost almost $2 million, plus an additional $400,000 for equipment startup costs. A fisherman in Marin County has died after being pulled from the water at Rodeo Beach. The Southern Marin Fire Department says the man in his 70s was fishing alone near some rocks yesterday. They're not sure if he fell into the water or was knocked in by waves. Bystanders pulled him from the water and they tried to perform CPR, but fire officials say he was already in cardiac arrest. It will soon be illegal for some teenagers to ride Class 2 e-bikes. That is in parts of Marin County. That move following a spike in e-bike accidents among 10 to 15-year-olds. Class 2 e-bikes allow riders to reach speeds up to 20 miles per hour without pedaling. This is video provided by one of the community groups opposed to the rides. Yesterday, board supervisors unanimously approved an ordinance banning teens under the age of 16 from using them in unincorporated areas of the county. Baked into that ordinance is also a requirement for all e-bike riders to wear helmets, regardless of how old they are. Dr. John Ma told us his perspective on e-bikes shifted back in 2023. That's after a patient came into the emergency room following a serious e-bike accident that left her with several skull fractures.
As e-bikes became less expensive, we saw a rapid increase in youth use and youth injury. It became a very common sight around Marin County to see multiple kids on a single e-bike, all unhelmeted and all traveling at very high rates of speed.
The ordinance set to go into effect July 1st. The VTA and the workers' union are in court today as employees remain on the picket lines. The transit agency wants a judge to end the walkout. Bus and light rail operators have not shown up to work for almost 3 weeks. That's brought service to a halt for thousands of riders. VTA claims that workers broke a no-strike clause, even though their contract has expired. On Sunday, VTA offered a new proposal with an 11% raise over 3 years in exchange for some concessions from the union. 83% of voting union members rejected that offer. The city of San Jose planning to start billing people for calling 911. It is called a first responder fee, and it would be charged when someone needs medical attention from the fire department. The city council just gave its initial approval to a plan that would charge $427 per call. San Jose Fire says that in most cases, insurance, not individual people, would be footing that bill. As our Katie Nielsen explains, these types of fees are not new.
San Francisco, Napa, Vallejo, and the city of Alameda all have some kind of a first responder fee that helps pay for some of the medical care they receive from firefighters. And just a few hours ago, the San Jose City Council approved a similar plan. $186 times per day. That's the average number of times San Jose firefighters go to calls for medical emergencies, or about 68,000 calls a year. And on every fire truck, there's a paramedic, like Captain Joshua Scheib.
There's more fire stations strategically placed throughout the city than there are ambulances, and ambulances are always roaming around. They don't have a station like how we have.
That means a paramedic from the fire department can get to a patient much more quickly and start life-saving care.
This is the paramedics' toolbox. This is going to have all their medications.
Every fire truck has a full set of gear for the paramedic on board, a total of 47 across the city. And when you start adding up the cost, it becomes significant. Right now, the money to pay for all the supplies comes out of the fire department's budget.
We looked at ourselves as a fire department that helped out on medical calls, but we're recognizing now we are a medical care provider.
That's why the chief went before the city council to ask to move forward with a plan to charge $427 for every medical call.
We will bill insurance, but we're not going after individual residents to collect fees.
San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan and the other council members unanimously approved the plan, but only after a guarantee that residents won't be sent to collections for unpaid fees and there wouldn't be any impact to their credit scores.
Firefighters are responding and providing medical care. I think it can be appropriate to recoup some of those costs. That's a way to keep the fire department sustainable without having to raise taxes. But really that should be coming out of an insurance pool, not something where we're sending a bill directly to residents.
The details of the plan are expected to be hammered out this summer, and the charge wouldn't start until January 1st, 2026. It's expected to generate about $4 million per year.
And as Katie mentioned, some other Bay Area cities have their own first responder fees. Napa is charging more than $330. The fee is almost $400 in Alameda. It's about $560 in Vallejo. And the fee in San Francisco is more than $560. Still ahead here on CBS News Bay Area. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill pushing for more answers after a military leak from a group chat. The new round of texts just released and how the Trump administration is downplaying the leaks. Plus, San Francisco taqueria ripped off by burglars. The unusual reward from the business owner to try to catch the people responsible.
They're not just randomly hitting these places. They're studying them, they're hitting them.
And a rare sight in all of its glory playing out in the North Bay. Hear from the historian helping make this display a global sensation at Lake Berryessa.
Warm, sunny day for us yesterday in the Bay Area. Today, we're dropping down to the 60s for our daytime highs, with scattered showers in the forecast throughout the afternoon and evening hours tonight. We'll continue to see showers last into our Thursday and Friday forecast, catching a bit of a break as we head into Saturday, with more showers rolling in into Sunday and Monday of next week. Now, notice those temperatures too. We drop from the mid to upper 60s today in our inland spots, all the way down to low 60s as we wrap up this week and head into this weekend. So cooler weather on the way.
New details today about that group chat about a U.S. military strike. President Trump's national security team discussed the military operation over a messaging app not approved by the government. The Atlantic published new details from the text received by the magazine's editor-in-chief, who was mistakenly added to that group chat. Natalie Brandt has the latest from the White House.
There were no sources, methods, locations, or war plans that were shared. Members of President Trump's national security team returned to Capitol Hill Wednesday, where Democratic lawmakers are calling for accountability as new details emerge about the group chat they were a part of discussing a U.S. strike on Houthi rebels.
Everyone here knows that the Russians or the Chinese could have gotten all of that information, and they could have passed it on to the Houthis, who easily could have repositioned weapons and altered their plans to knock down planes or sink ships.
The Atlantic originally reported their editor-in-chief was inadvertently included in the group chat on Signal, an encrypted but non-government approved messaging app. This morning, The Atlantic published a follow-up showing messages from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth sent shortly before the strike included the operational timeline and type of aircraft that would be used.
The magazine says it chose to reveal more details as the president and top administration officials insist classified information was not shared.
It wasn't classified information.
Nobody's texting more plans.
There should be an investigation.
CBS News national security contributor Sam Vinograt says typically operational plans about upcoming strikes are always classified.
If it's exploited by a foreign adversary or by a bad actor, that could put U.S. service members in harm's way, and also just gives insights into how the U.S. government is thinking about conducting military operations.
The White House press secretary responded to the New Atlantic article, contending the magazine has conceded these were not war plans, and she called the story a hoax.
Well, those texts have brought Signal into the spotlight. Today, we talked with a reporter from PC Magazine who gave us a deeper dive into the app.
Signal is just an app anyone can download. If you haven't downloaded it, it kind of looks like WhatsApp. So it has your texts and your calls. And what's the magic of it is really happening in the back end of when you send a message. Theoretically, no third party can see what you're saying. So that includes your carrier. So the goal is that what's said on Signal stays on Signal, of course, unless you add a reporter to a problematic chat. So it is a secure app. It's good for, unclassified or just more casual communications. So I don't think Signal should get a bad rap through this. It's not appropriate for the classified stuff that we're talking about with this story.
The national security publication Lawfare reports the Signal app had about 70 million users in 2024, which is really just a fraction of the 1 billion active monthly users of iMessage on Apple. Today, an executive with the San Francisco Giants has a new role as the newest member of the SFMTA.
I, Alfonso Felder,
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
Yeah, that is Alfonso Felder being sworn in this morning at the Muni Metro Bus Yard. He's worked for the Giants for almost 3 decades and right now serves as their Chief Operations and Experience Officer. Mayor Lurie says he tapped him for the SFMTA job because of his experience with transportation and urban development planning. San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie also pledging to turn things around in the city, making it look better and feel safer too. Some Castro business owners we spoke with say the changes can't come soon enough. Back in August, Guy Chicken and Rice had their 4th break-in. A man there spotted on surveillance video breaking into the restaurant at 16th and Sanchez. He was not able to get away with anything. The owners told us they were considering putting up scissor gates to try to stop this from happening again.
When these things kind of happen to us, it takes the passion out of how do we be innovative? What's next on the menu? It's more like, how to file an insurance claim.
Well, this is video we shot back in December 2022 from Le Marais Bakery on Sanchez Street. At the time, this was their 6th break-in. Burglars made off with iPads, gifts for the staff, and their industrial safe ripped out of the basement. Business owners and community members gathered at a neighborhood salon last night, hoping to get the attention of anyone in a position of power who can help them fight crime in their community. Many expressed concern that crime has gotten out of hand, like Eduardo Juarez and Claude Gretian, after several recent break-ins and a Walgreens worker stabbing an accused shoplifter.
You are afraid to come working because I start every morning early, and I have to be very careful because I am afraid that something happens.
We do need to stop it. We're willing to take the actions it takes to prosecute the criminals if they're caught. So it's a matter of catching them.
They add that they are willing they're hoping rather that a united front will get more resources from the community. And it's not just property crime that's an issue. Eduardo told us what he suspects are illegal vendors near his business are keeping customers away. He says he went to police, he tried 311, but nobody has moved them out. Just last month, Mayor Lurie and State Senator Scott Wiener introduced a bill to stop fencing. That is the reselling of stolen goods. It's been a major issue on the city's sidewalks, especially in the Mission neighborhood. Last week, the bill was approved in a Senate committee. So that would require vendors to have a permit or proof of purchase to sell items that the city has deemed as commonly stolen. Multiple violations could lead to jail time. That bill does not apply to prepared food. The owner of a North Beach taqueria is getting creative to try to go after the people he says broke into his business. Kevin Coe talked to him about what he's calling his last resort.
Tarek Cassis noticed something while watching surveillance footage of his restaurant, Taqueria Zorro, being broken into.
They're calm. They've done this before.
Video shows masked, armed burglars ripping out a bolted-down ATM at the front of the store. They load up a white Honda Odyssey, giving a clear shot of its license plate. And right when it looks like they're about to leave, one suspect speaks up.
He was like, no, go back. They're not just randomly hitting these places. They're studying them, they're hitting them. They have standard operating procedures. It's a business for them. They know what they're doing. They're clearing rooms, you know, they're like making sure there's no one down there. I mean, they're like SWAT of stealing.
2 safes, 1 ATM, adding up to about $10,000 in losses. Repairs to the taqueria are expected to cost about $25 grand. Insurance won't cover any of it because, well,
I wouldn't even call insurance.
Tarek says he won't even file a claim because he worries his insurer will cancel his coverage.
Getting insurance is hard, so they will drop you. So, and then unless it's like catastrophic, it's not worth it. If I need a certificate of insurance for my catering events, I won't be able to step foot onto venues.
Catering makes up most of the taqueria's business, which is why staff are here 23 hours a day. Unfortunately, the thieves showed up in that 1 hour window that they weren't. Tarek says it added insult to injury, seeing potential witnesses do nothing to help.
That's what I'm saying. People were walking by, biking, you know, jogging, and no one said anything. And you don't have to confront them. I'm not asking anybody to put themselves in harm's way. But like, you just, you know, go a next block over and call the cops. The police station is 1 block away. They could have gone and rang the doorbell at the police station.
Now, he's hoping a little incentive will help and is offering his own reward. Free lunch for a month for anyone who can identify the suspects.
Still ahead, a giant drain in the middle of a North Bay lake. We're going to meet the local historian who says his viral video turned it into a bit of a tourist attraction.
We had 62 million views around the world. After that, it really became an attraction around the world.
Our daytime highs into this afternoon. Yeah, they're a lot different compared to where we were at just yesterday. Keep in mind, we were breaking records in the Bay Area yesterday over into San Jose, for example. And it was sunny and it was warm, and we had 80s from the North Bay up in wine country all the way off into the East Bay. But today we're back into the 60s with the exception of Livermore, Fremont, Antioch, all topping off in the low 70s. So yes, significantly cooler compared to where we were at yesterday. I mean, San Jose almost hit the 90s yesterday. Now we're up into the upper 60s throughout this afternoon. Now, on top of that, we're also dealing with some rain in the forecast for us, sweeping in from offshore, pretty light, but it's with those clouds that are rolling in from offshore. And we'll continue to watch light conditions just along our shoreline kind of develop throughout the afternoon hours today and evening hours tonight. A little bit more heavier showers sweep in just around 7:30, including the peninsula up into the North Bay near wine country, and that continues to move in into the 10 o'clock hour. In total, I mean, it'll amount to about 1/100 of an inch, but something's better than nothing. We definitely need this during this time of year too. Now, as we take a look at the next 6 days, or at least the next 7 days, actually, we're going to have on and off showers in the forecast for us. There'll be a break on Saturday, more showers rolling in as we head into Sunday, and that's what we're going to do to kick off our work week next week with an umbrella in our hand, ready to go, because more rain lasts into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
All right. Mesmerizing scene, meantime, taking place in the North Bay. For the first time in 6 years, the round spillway at Lake Berryessa is active. Our Brian Hackney got a look at this rare display and spoke with one historian who helped make the Glory Hole Spillway a global sensation.
Lake Berryessa is going down the drain, and that's a good thing. It means they've had a wet year in the North Bay, and when the Monticello Reservoir is filled to the brim, water's got to go somewhere.
Oh my God, look at that.
It's called the Glory Hole Spillway. That's really what the engineers called it, and we shortened it to Glory Hole.
You're still impressed by looking at...
Absolutely, every time I come and look at it.
Peter Kilkus is a local historian.
It really became an attraction around the world.
And the author of a number of books. And the online Lake Berryessa News, which monitors the spillway.
People have different opinions. Some people say, oh, that's really beautiful. Some say it's frightening.
Whatever it is, it really sucks people in.
Yeah, it's a big tourist attraction. In fact, on a heavy day in the weekends, you can't even park here.
The big draw, while most dams use traditional spillways, there wasn't room for them here. So the water just goes down this 70-foot diameter drain, then takes a 90-degree bend and is dumped into the creek below. Unusual design?
Yes, it's fairly rare. There's only 2 in California, and there are a couple of others in Europe, but they're very rare.
It's also rare because the water doesn't overflow that often. The last time was in 2017, and
2017 is the first time it went over in 11 years.
That's when Peter's Lake Berryessa News posted its drone video on the internet.
And we had 62 million views around the world. After that, it really became an attraction around the world.
It all began when the dam went up in 1958.
And of course, it buried a town. There was a town here that was one of the great agricultural producers before 1958.
And the name of the town was?
Monticello, the town of Monticello, and this is Monticello Dam.
Now its water goes to 500,000 people in Solano County. When the lake's low, the outflow pipe becomes a mecca for skateboarders. And when it's high,
it's really a circular waterfall.
It has your head spinning.
As a scientist, I love to watch the water flow because I know the physics behind it. Yeah. And as a normal human being, it's just beautiful.
Pretty cool. Coming up in the next half hour here on CBS News Bay Area, we are hearing from a local veteran worried about losing his doctors at the VA clinic.
Can't believe in my heart of hearts that anyone is better at making those decisions than the people who know what it takes to care for veterans.
Now, why he says this could be a matter of life and death. Plus, NASA testing new tech aimed at keeping air support active during firefights when human pilots can't see. Getting an up-close look at how it's done. I'm Ann Makovic, and this is The Minute. School leaders in Santa Rosa have approved a program to bring police officers back to campus. They voted 4-2 in favor last night. Under the 3-year pilot program, officers will be stationed at each of the city's 5 high schools. This comes after a string of violent incidents on campus. A fisherman in Marin County has died after being pulled from the water at Rodeo Beach. The man in his 70s was fishing alone near some rocks yesterday. Fire officials aren't sure if he fell or if the waves knocked him over. Bystanders tried to perform CPR, but he was already in cardiac arrest. And the Santa Cruz Wharf will temporarily close tonight for emergency repairs. City needs to fix a water main underneath the wharf. The wharf is going to be closed from 8 p.m. until Friday morning. Comes 3 months after part of it collapsed during high surf. I'm Ann Makovic with The Minute.
You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
It was a hot day for many of us throughout the Bay Area yesterday. Today, the clouds are rolling in, a cold front's approaching, and our temperatures are dropping significantly because of that. Daytime highs today are going to be topping off in the 60s, widespread throughout the Bay, with 50s near Vallejo and 70s all the way off in areas like Livermore, Fremont, and stretched down into the Santa Clara Valley. Yesterday, we actually broke records in San Jose for being so warm. Close to the 90s yesterday. Today, we're all the way down into the 60s, so about a 20-degree jump throughout most of the Bay Area. That mixed with clouds, mixed with showers and gustier winds. That's what this cold front is doing for all of us throughout the Bay today. We're seeing light showers flashing throughout the coastline this morning. It'll push throughout some of the peninsula, but by the time it makes its way to the East Bay, it starts to dissipate. That'll change into the evening hours tonight, though. We'll see more substantial rain up into the North Bay around 7 o'clock, continuing to watch more showers sweep in from offshore into the overnight hours tonight. So from now until around at least 7 o'clock tonight, we're seeing about 1/100 of an inch of rain, but we'll continue to add to those rainfall totals as we head into the rest of this week and into this weekend's forecast, too. We'll catch a little bit of a break as we head into Saturday when it comes to our rain chances, but for the most part, we're seeing on and off showers widespread throughout the Bay as we head into this weekend and early next week. So here's what Sunday's going to do for us. Sunday's going to be that next splash of showers with daytime highs still sitting in the low 60s. By next week, we cool down even more into the upper 50s along the Bay just to Tuesday's forecast. And as we make our way over into our inland spots, it's looking very similar too. Low 60s by tomorrow compared to the upper 60s we have today in our inland spots. We'll continue to hold on tight to that chilly, cool, and wet forecast right around the corner as we head into Sunday and Monday. Back to you.
Well, the Trump administration's mass layoffs at the Department of Veterans Affairs could have a huge impact on veterans here in the Bay Area. An East Bay veteran with long-term health issues says that he depends on his local VA clinic. And he tells our Suji Nam that he's not only concerned for himself, but for his doctors.
77-year-old Craig Pratt prioritizes his health at home. He says he tries to exercise every day.
Aerobic exercise like this rowing machine here or strength.
He leads an active lifestyle, especially with his medical conditions.
Heart disease and cancer are given to me at the San Francisco VA medical facility.
Craig served as a Marine in the Vietnam War in 1965. He was 17 years old. During that time, he was exposed to Agent Orange. That and his long-term health issues are the reason for his frequent visits to the Oakland VA clinic.
We signed up to make sacrifices that, even now, 50 plus years later, have given us some consequences.
Craig says that throughout the years, he has developed meaningful relationships with doctors who are also active or retired military.
They listen, they understand common experiences that me and other veterans have.
But now he is concerned for his fellow veterans and the doctors that treat them. The Trump administration announced its plans to cut more than 80,000 jobs within the VA nationwide. The cuts could begin as early as June. There is real fear among clinicians within the VA system. We reached out to several doctors working for Bay Area VAs. Many were fearful to speak with us on record. But we did talk with one longtime local VA doctor who wanted to remain anonymous. We also distorted the audio for privacy purposes.
Myself and my colleagues wonder and worry if we're going to get an email tomorrow that says, "Thank you for your service and here are your retirement papers," or "Goodbye." I don't really know.
They say this is more than just a job.
We are so indebted to them for their years of service, often when they are very young. And then we see the impacts of their service on their health, both mental and physical, and feel deeply indebted to care for them throughout their lives.
And that, like many veterans, each physician has a story.
That is me and my wife many years ago.
Just like Craig shares his story of service and sacrifice.
Can't believe in my heart of hearts that anyone is better at making those decisions than the people who know what it takes to care for veterans.
He says while only time will tell what's going to happen, in the meantime, Craig tells us he will continue to let his doctors know how much he appreciates their service.
The VA also offers mental health support. According to their latest report, there were more than 6,400 veteran suicide deaths in 2022. Veterans and healthcare professionals are concerned that these cuts will have even more dire impacts for veterans nationwide. In a statement, the VA press secretary said that even though the Biden administration astronomically grew the department's budget and the number of employees, VA wait times and backlogs also increased. He went on to say that they're trying to fix the VA's problems and planning to reduce employment by about 15% without cutting healthcare or benefits. The Alameda County Fairgrounds racetrack has officially shut its doors, and with that closure, workers say they're not only out of a job, but also a home. We caught up with people packing up their cars yesterday. Last month, the California Authority of Racing Fairs decided to end horse racing in Pleasanton after facing financial problems. We spoke with Monty Meyer, a racehorse trainer who, along with his wife, have lived there for 16 years. They say they are packing up and taking their horses down to San Diego County.
My wife and I, we figured that as much as we love Pleasanton and much as we love Northern California, we thought that this is where we would retire if we ever did.
So a racehorse owner and the owner of Harris Ranch offered to put up $2 million to pay for operations to keep the racetrack open, but the ownership group pulled the plug. They are now trying to file a lawsuit against the ownership group. Fire crews here in California are trained to handle some of the most intense circumstances possible. But at times, low visibility or dangerous conditions can ground an air assault, which is the most effective tool at fighting wildfires. Well, now NASA is helping expand the window of time that crews have to respond to a major incident. You can see this video where researchers performed their first wildfire test flight missions using new aerospace management technology. It is potentially life-saving tech that is years in the making, and they brought our Mary Lee along for the ride.
Coming home, we're like, well.
You can fine adjust more if you want.
Here in the beautiful Salinas foothills, NASA researchers have turned this private land into their very own live experiment. Their mission, helping crews fight fires from the air both day and night, sending all types of aircraft in the sky 24/7. Because right now, pilots can't fly at night or in heavy smoke.
It's something that I've spent years talking to firefighters from different agencies about, and it's just really exciting to actually, see the drones take off and then see the real live display, not simulated data, but like the actual live location of all those pieces being tracked in our system.
Taking me along for the ride, we drove up rugged terrain to get to the launch site. This is where we found more NASA researchers here in this remote area. They purposely picked this spot because of the hills, vegetation, and weak cell service.
I'll just put the batteries on, and then I'll come back for the RC.
This is where we met Jonas Jansson. He's the mission manager for NASA's test mission here.
We have ground station operator here, so it's going to then take over the control of the aircraft and fly the flight plan, which we have scouted out there. So it's a lawnmower pattern and going back and forth across the hillside. And the purpose is to simulate a prescribed burn.
NASA is testing its Portable Aircraft Management System, or PAMS, to make sure drones and remotely piloted aircraft stay inside their approved flight paths, wildfire operation zones, and of course, avoid any collisions in the air. By first making sure their aircraft communication runs smoothly, they can then safely deploy all aircraft at night or in heavy smoke, something they could never do before. Extending the time crews can fight fires is crucial and can make all the difference in stopping a wildfire from getting out of control.
This project is super personal to me. I grew up in Southern California. I've been evacuated. I lived in the canyon that every year you get fires. And so being able to help with this project and help our end users is really kind of just a dream come true.
It's a real good motivation for in the morning when you get up at 5 a.m. or something to head out and do the flight test. You know that you're doing it for a good cause.
For NASA researchers, they say this mission is not just rewarding, but brings them one step closer to reality. They hope fire crews can start using their new technology out in the field soon.
Researchers are going to use data from the flight test to refine the airspace management system. That project is managed at NASA Ames Research Center in Moffett Field. Coming up next, the madness returning tomorrow with some games happening right here in the Bay Area. Now, one of the top picks is getting ready for game day.
It was a warm, sunny day for us yesterday in the Bay Area. Today, we're dropping down to the 60s for our daytime highs, with scattered showers in the forecast throughout the afternoon and evening hours tonight. We'll continue to see showers last into our Thursday and Friday forecast, catching a bit of a break as we head into Saturday, with more showers rolling in into Sunday and Monday of next week. Now, notice those temperatures too. We drop from the mid to upper 60s today in our inland spots, all the way down to low 60s as we wrap up this week and head into this weekend. So cooler weather on the way.
Well, another sport is coming to the Oakland Coliseum. This time it's Major League Cricket. The inaugural season is part of a partnership between Cognizant Major League Cricket and the Coliseum. This morning, city officials announced the Coliseum will host 7 game days and 9 matches beginning June 12th.
It's going to have the best players in the United States, the best players from around the world, playing the most exciting format of this sport, a 3-hour game with games starting at 6 o'clock in the evening. And we certainly encourage everyone from Oakland and the Bay Area to come out to drag out their non-cricket fans and introduce them to this wonderful sport.
Yeah, so the sport of cricket is having a bit of a moment in the U.S. The World Cup was played here for the first time last year, and leaders in the East Bay say they are hoping the week-long matches will bring an economic boost for the city of Oakland. To March Madness now in the NCAA tournament. It is resuming tomorrow, and as Vern Glenn explains, one of the remaining teams is placing a bigger emphasis on the most important meals of the day.
This is the Northern California Honda dealers Madness Minute.
Kentucky will take on SEC rival Tennessee for the third time this season. Forget about you better eat your Wheaties. Right now, it's more like eat your Weetabix to fuel Big Blue's run.
On Friday, I had 4 pieces of toast for breakfast, and they thought that wasn't enough. So he asked me what I usually eat growing up, and I had something called Weetabix, which is from England. It doesn't taste too bad. Depends how you make it. Oh, you're right. It tastes amazing, but
Amari gave me permission to put some sugar on it. He was nervous. He put 4 packs of sugar. I put 1 because if I put more than 1, Leanne was going to kill me. We will have mandatory team breakfast this week every morning featuring Weetabix.
With the Madness Minute, I'm Vern Glenn.
Well, coming up, it is where you can get a hyphy burger with a side of you feel me sauce. Yeah, the story of Oakland's newest burger joint celebrating Bay Area hip-hop culture.
None of us had any restaurant experience, so we didn't know exactly what the outcome was going to be.
Yeah, come on in. Yeah.
Our daytime highs into this afternoon. Yeah, they're a lot different compared to where we were at just yesterday. Keep in mind, we were breaking records in the Bay Area yesterday over into San Jose, for example. And it was sunny and it was warm, and we had 80s from the North Bay up in wine country all the way off into the East Bay. But today we're back into the 60s with the exception of Livermore, Fremont, Antioch, all topping off in the low 70s. So yes, significantly cooler compared to where we were at yesterday. I mean, San Jose almost hit the 90s yesterday. Now we're up into the upper 60s throughout this afternoon. Now, on top of that, we're also dealing with some rain in the forecast for us. Sweeping in from offshore, pretty light, but it's with those clouds that are rolling in from offshore. And we'll continue to watch light conditions just along our shoreline kind of develop throughout the afternoon hours today and evening hours tonight. A little bit more heavier showers sweep in just around 7:30, including the peninsula up into the North Bay near wine country. And that continues to move in into the 10 o'clock hour. In total, I mean, it'll amount to about 1/100 of an inch, but something's better than nothing. We definitely need this during this time of year too. Now, as we take a look at the next 6 days, or at least the next 7 days, actually, we're going to have on and off showers in the forecast for us. There'll be a break on Saturday, more showers rolling in as we head into Sunday. And that's what we're going to do to kick off our work week next week with an umbrella in our hand, ready to go, because more rain lasts into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Well, running a restaurant certainly is not easy, but a local food influencer is taking on the challenge. She has opened up a bold new burger joint in Oakland, paying tribute to Bay Area hip-hop culture. Our Itai Hod talked to the man behind Hyphy Burger.
Darian Fraser knows good food. He spent years eating it, reviewing it,
We are in Paris.
and telling his more than 200,000 followers where to find it. But these days, his best culinary recommendation isn't on his feed. It's right here at the restaurant he owns.
None of us had any restaurant experience, so we didn't know exactly what the outcome was going to be.
Less than a month in, Hyphy Burger isn't just open, it's going dumb, which in Oakland speak is a very good thing.
This is kind of like the slowest it's been, and we kind of needed it, but...
This is slow?
Yeah.
If you watch MTV, you might be familiar with the term hyphy.
Hyphy, which started in Oakland in the early 2000s, is a lifestyle built on fast beats, loud cars, and even louder personalities.
It's the Bay culture. It's the music, it's the slang, even the airbrushing. This is part of Hyphy.
And just like the movement it's named after, this burger joint brings big flavor,
287!
big energy, and a cultural infusion to a city that could use it.
330?
Though crime numbers dropped in 2024, Oakland businesses have been shutting down for years, citing safety concerns and tough economic times. But Fraser and his partners seem to have cracked the code.
So just like this? Yeah.
The secret: smash burgers, a little elbow grease,
Oh, look at that.
and of course, a whole lot of Hyphy. Customers like Oakland native Darlene Young are eating it up,
It tastes good, and they need to come out with more burgers.
proving that sometimes all it takes is a grill, a dream, and working your buns off to flip the script on a city hungry for a comeback.
It's pretty good.
Hyphy Burger is open Tuesday through Saturday. Right now, it is still in its soft opening phase to train its employees. Thanks for streaming CBS News Bay Area. I'm Ann McAdick. We're going to be right back with your first alert forecast and another look at your top stories.